Hi, Ashley here with hearthookhome.com, and today we are learning how to do the basics of my new crochet pattern, the lightweight easy breezy summer vest. We have this pattern on Heart Hook Home on several sizes. We have an American Girl doll size, we have a toddler size, 5 to 9-year-olds, 10 to 12-year-olds, and then the adult size that would work for a teenager. We're going to do just a very basic little swatch of this fabric, showing you the important parts of the pattern. I really think that once you get going, you will understand the written pattern if you do not already. Of course, if you still need help after we're done, you can shoot me a message on Facebook on Heart Hook Home or in the Facebook group, or shoot me an email from my website, hearthookhome.com. Okay, I'm going to just do a very small little swatch to show you the important parts. I'm going to do a small chain, and we're only going to do, let's see, the pattern calls, it depends on which pattern you're using, but we are making rows back and forth this way. So I'm going to do, we'll just make 4 blocks, and the number of blocks that you'll do depends on which size you're doing, right? Let's see how many I've got here. 16, 17. Okay. So the very first instruction is to do your chain in however long it's required for the pattern that you're making. And then we're going to do a double crochet in the 8th chain from hook. So there's your 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. So we're going to double crochet. I've yarned over, double crochet into that 8th chain. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and skip 2. So we're going to skip that one and go into this one. Double crochet, and now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to go into the 3rd. So we're going to skip those 2, 1, 2, and go into this one. And then at the end, we are going to chain 2. Between every block, you're going to chain 2. And then we're going to skip 1, 2, and go into that very last chain. Double crochet. So this would be your first row, right? Now, of course, you're going to have a lot more than 4 blocks. You're going to have, I don't know, 10, 18, 25, 35, 45, 50, whatever, depends on the pattern that you're using. There's 5 different versions. So once you've got your first row done, we're going to chain 5 to start the new row. So let me pull my yarn. We're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn, and we're going to double crochet into, we're going to skip this chain 2 space, right? When you're looking at the pattern, it says chain 5, skip first chain 2 space, and double crochet in the top of the first double crochet. We're going to go in right here. Double crochet, and now we're going to chain 2 to get to the next one. Okay, so we went into double crochet, chain 2, go into the next, double crochet. Okay, double crochet into the next double crochet, and this creates a series of blocks. We're going to do this all the way down, chain 2, double crochet into the double crochet. And what I love about this pattern, it goes super fast. Now when you get to the end, it's going to say chain 2 and double crochet into the 3rd chain from the previous chain 5 space. So this is the chain 5 that began the first row, right? When you're looking at this here, so this is our first row, this is our second row. So when we have our chain 2 here, we're going to double crochet into the 3rd, which is going to be this one right here. Okay, and it helps if you go ahead and yarn over, and then it helps if you kind of twist the yarn back this way to see. So you see 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go into this one right here. Make sure you get both sides. Finish off that double crochet. Boom. So now you've got 2 rows of blocks done. Now when you come back up, as you're continuing to make rows, as you come back up this way, you're going to go into the 3rd of this one, right? So we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn, and now we're going to double crochet into this one right here. We're going to skip that chain 2 space and go into the top of this double crochet. Then we're going to chain 2 to get over here. We're going to double crochet in here. We're going to do a chain 2 to get over here and double crochet in this, into this double crochet. Then we're going to chain 2 and go into the third one right here. Okay, that third chain from the previous chain 5. So you're going to continue to create rows in this manner until you get as wide as the pattern tells you to do. So you could do 10 rows, it could be 15 rows, 18 rows, 20 rows, 22 rows, 26 rows. It could be as many as, then this is the width of your back. So you're just going to keep going until I tell you to stop. Now, when we get to the armhole, the first armhole, that's another question. So what you're going to do is you're going to start that row. Let's see, I'll pull this out. This one that's finished. Okay, so this is how we started this vest. It went right here, and I went, oh, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until I got to the armhole, right? And then at the armhole, we go back and forth, and then when we get to this part, we need to make a big opening for the armhole. So let's figure out how to do that, okay? On the pattern, it will tell you how many blocks to complete. So I'm going to go ahead and double crochet into this one. And on the pattern, it will say do 12 blocks or 15 blocks or however many blocks. And that's what these are. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, however many. So we're going to continue making blocks in the same way we have. Now, when you get to the armhole, we're going to pretend like this is the armhole over here. When you get to the armhole, it's going to say chain however many. Now, since each stitch or each block is 3 stitches wide, remember, because it's a chain, chain, double, chain, chain, double. It's a 3-stitch repeat, right? So we want to make sure we have 3 stitches for this and 3 stitches for this. So this is going to be a chain 6. So if there were 10, it was an armhole opening with 10 blocks, then it would be 3 times 10, right? So it'd be 30. So you would chain 30 to get that armhole. So just chain as many as I told you to in the pattern. So for this, I'm going to do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it tells you to slip stitch to the third from the first or from the last row's chain 5. So just like we do when we're ending a row, instead of connecting this to anything else, we're going to kind of turn our chain just like we did earlier so we can see it better, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to just slip stitch. So we're slip stitching to the top. So that's your armhole. It looks a lot bigger on a bigger piece, trust me. This looks a little wonky because I've only got 4. But when you're doing it on a full-size one, it actually ends up making the armhole look really nice. See how it kind of does this in the middle, and then at the top it's still connected. So it actually makes it like nice and open and nice and airy. So then your next instructions are to chain 5. Okay, and turn. So now we're going to create blocks going up this way as well. We want to make sure that this gets a double crochet because that's a double crochet. So we're going to, I like to go backwards and count just to make sure that I'm putting my first stitch in the right stitch here. So I like to go count this one and go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I want to make sure that I'm skipping this one and I want to make sure that I'm going into this one right here to make sure that everything lines up. And you can do that, I mean, even if you're doing a chain of the 54 for the adult size, you can still count back that way to make sure that you're placing this first one in the right place. Because that slip stitch kind of looks like a stitch, but it's really just the slip stitch, so you don't want to count it. And that way you make sure that you end on a correct number when you go into the top of this double crochet. So then you will get to the end. You're just chaining 2, going into the double crochet, chaining 2, and then going into the third chain from that previous 1, 2, 3 right there. And like I said, it does help if you turn that chain as you are looking for your stitch to go into. So I know that this looks kind of wonky because it's so little, but I promise you that on a bigger model it makes so much sense. And then when you're done, you are going to take your front right here, and this is your back. You're going to take them and line them up this way, and you're going to sew these across just like we did on this one with the shoulder. Sew it right across. So I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.